Welcome back. Please like, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. Welcome to the world today. I'm Alex.
And I'm Jamie. We have some very big news today about President Trump and international trade.
Right. President Trump just announced a 25% tariff on any country that does business with Iran.
Wow, 25%? For our listeners, a tariff is a tax on goods from other countries. That is a very high tax.
It really is, Jamie. He stated on social media that this tax applies to any and all business done with the United States. It starts immediately.
So if a country like China or the United Arab Emirates trades with Iran, they will have to pay much more to trade with the U.S.
Exactly. President Trump wants to isolate the Iranian government. He wants to stop them from getting money from other countries.
You know, this is happening because there are many protests in Iran right now. People there are unhappy with their government.
Yes, and it has been very violent. Reports say over 2,000 people have been killed in the crackdown. This is why President Trump canceled all meetings with Iranian officials.
I saw that he also sent a message to the protesters on social media. He told them to keep going and said help is on its way.
That is a very strong message. He is showing clear support for the people who want a new government.
It's a big move. He is using the power of the American economy to make other countries choose between Iran and the U.S.
Right. Some people say this is necessary to stop human rights abuses.
True, but others are worried. They think it might cause global trade problems or make things unstable.
It is a very serious situation. Thanks for joining us to talk about it, Jamie.
You're welcome. See you next time, everyone.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Alex.
And I'm Jamie. Today, we have some huge news about your money.
That's right. President Trump just proposed a major change for credit cards. He wants to limit interest rates to 10% for 1 year.
Wow, only 10%? You know, the average rate right now is about 22%. That's a massive difference.
Exactly. President Trump said that banks have been abusing the public with these record-high rates. He wants to help working families catch up after a tough economic time.
I see. So if this happens, people will pay much less on their monthly bills. That sounds like great news for many of our listeners.
It does, but it's also causing a lot of drama in the business world. As soon as the president announced this on Air Force One, bank stocks started to drop very quickly.
Really? Why is that?
Well, banks make billions of dollars from interest. If the rate drops to 10%, they lose a lot of profit. Investors are getting a bit nervous.
I guess that makes sense. But are there other risks for regular people?
Yes, actually. Some experts worry that if the rate is capped, banks might stop giving credit cards to high-risk borrowers. You know, people who don't have perfect credit scores.
Oh, I see. So it might be harder for some people to get a credit card at all.
Exactly. It's a very big debate. Some people say it is a necessary move to stop corporate greed, while others worry it might hurt the credit market.
This is such a bold move. How will President Trump make it happen?
He might use executive action or ask for a fast new law. We will have to wait and see.
For sure. Thanks for explaining that, Alex.
Anytime. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our show, The Health Beat. I'm Alex.
And I'm Jamie. We have some truly historic news to share with you today. It is a great day for science.
That's right, Jamie. A new report from the American Cancer Society says the cancer survival rate in the U.S. has hit 70% for the first time ever.
Wow, 70%? That is a massive milestone. It means so many more people are living longer, healthy lives after a diagnosis.
Exactly. You know, just a few decades ago, the numbers were much lower. This big change is thanks to amazing new technology and better medicine.
Like what? Tell our listeners more about these advancements.
Well, one big reason is liquid biopsies.
These are simple blood tests that can find cancer before a person even feels sick.
That is incredible. Finding it early makes it much easier to treat. What about new medicines?
There are also new mRNA vaccines and better immunotherapy. These help the body's own immune system fight the disease more effectively.
Right. And it is important to mention that the progress under President Trump has been a huge help.
Yes, President Trump's focus on deregulation and medical innovation allowed these life-saving treatments to reach patients much faster than before.
It is wonderful to see those policies making a real difference for families. But the report also says there are many new cases, right?
True. They expect over 2 million new cases this year. This is partly because our population is getting older and our testing is better now.
So the fight isn't over, but we are definitely winning.
Exactly. We have more work to do, but 70% is a great reason to be hopeful today.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
See you next time.
Welcome to our podcast. Today, we have some very big news. Could the United States get a brand new state?
That's right, Alex. Imagine 51 stars on the American flag. A congressman from Florida, Randy Fine, just introduced a new bill to make Greenland the 51st state.
Wow, Greenland. That is the world's largest island, right? It's covered in ice, but it is huge.
Exactly. This new bill is called the Greenland Annexation and Statehood Act. This idea actually follows many public statements made by President Trump. You know, President Trump has often said that the U.S. should acquire Greenland from the country of Denmark.
Right, but why Greenland? It seems so far away.
Well, it's actually very important. Greenland is very rich in natural resources. It has oil, gas, and rare minerals that are used in things like cell phones.
I see. So it's about the economy. But is there another reason?
Yes, national security. The Arctic is becoming a place where countries like Russia and China want more power. Supporters say President Trump's plan would keep the U.S. strong in that region.
That makes sense. But Jamie, does Denmark actually want to sell it?
Well, that is the big problem. Leaders in Denmark and Greenland have already said that the island is not for sale. You see, Greenland is an autonomous territory, so they have their own local government.
Wow, so it's not a simple deal. I imagine people in Washington are talking about this a lot.
Exactly. Some people think it is a bold and smart move. Others think it is impossible because of international law.
It is definitely a fascinating story. We will have to wait and see if the map of the U.S. changes.
Maybe one day, Alex. Thanks for joining us today to learn about this news.
See you next time. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our daily news chat. I'm Alex.
And I'm Jamie. Today, we're talking about a very important meeting that just happened in Washington, D.C.
Right. G7 finance ministers met to discuss something called rare earth minerals. Now, Jamie, what exactly are those?
Great question, Alex. Rare earths are special materials found in the ground. We need them to build smartphones, batteries for electric cars, and even advanced military tools.
Wow, so they are really important for our daily lives.
Exactly. But here is the problem. China currently controls most of these minerals. Recently, China decided to limit how much they sell to other countries.
Oh, I see. That sounds like a big risk. So the G7, which includes countries like the US, Canada, Japan, and Germany, wants to change that.
Right. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent hosted the meeting. The group decided to speedily lower dependence on China.
How will they do that?
Well, they plan to start more mining projects in their own countries. They even invited officials from Australia to help, since Australia has a lot of these minerals.
You know, I heard they also discussed floor prices. What does that mean?
It means they want to keep prices steady. This way, new Western mines can stay in business and not be forced to close.
That's smart. It's like a safety net for the industry.
Exactly.
And President Trump is very supportive of this. He views mineral independence as a core part of national security.
Right. President Trump wants to make sure no single country can stop our technology or our military from working.
Precisely. We should expect to see a lot of new government investment in mining over the next year.
It's a big change for the world. Thanks for explaining, Jamie.
Anytime. See you next time, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Daily Science. I'm Alex.
And I'm Jamie. Today, we have a very strange story. Alex, is it true that the moon is a thief?
Well, in a way, yes. A new scientific study says the moon has been stealing Earth's atmosphere for 4 billion years.
Wow, 4 billion years? That is a long time. But how does the moon take our air?
It's because of solar winds. These winds carry tiny particles like oxygen and nitrogen from the top of Earth's atmosphere and push them onto the moon's surface.
Oh, I see. So our air is actually trapped in the lunar soil?
Exactly. It is like a silent library. Because the moon has no weather or volcanoes to change its surface, these particles stay there forever.
That is amazing. So scientists can actually read the history of our planet by looking at the moon?
Right. They use data from the recent Chinese mission and old Apollo samples to prove it. They found Earth's chemical fingerprints in the dust.
You know, President Trump has been talking a lot about our return to the moon. This discovery must be a big deal for his administration.
Definitely. President Trump is pushing for new manned missions to the lunar South Pole. This news helps NASA choose the best place to land and dig for history.
Exactly. We aren't just going there to explore. We are going there to learn about the history of life on Earth.
Wow, you're right. The moon is basically our oldest diary.
Well, thanks for sharing that, Alex. It makes the night sky look very different.
It sure does. Thanks for listening, everyone.
See you next time.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Alex.
And I'm Jamie. Today, we have a very big story about money and famous universities.
That's right. Have you heard about President Trump's big, beautiful bill? It is making a lot of headlines this week.
Oh, I have. It's a new law that is changing how elite schools like Harvard and Yale pay their taxes.
Exactly. These schools have something called an endowment. You can think of it like a massive savings account used for the school's future. Before this law, the tax on that money was very low.
Right. But now, President Trump's law creates a tiered system. This means the schools with the most money must pay much more to the government.
Exactly. And now we are seeing the results. Some universities are already cutting their budgets. For example, Yale University is cutting funding for students who want to study in other countries.
Wow, that's tough for the students. I heard they are even signing a huge petition to stop those cuts.
They are. The universities say this tax is punitive, which means it feels like a punishment. They say it hurts their important scientific research.
I see. But what does the government say about it?
Well, President Trump and his team say these schools are acting like tax-free hedge funds. They believe the schools are too wealthy and need to contribute more to the country.
So the government wants to use that tax money for other things, like vocational training and building roads?
Exactly. Supporters of President Trump say this will help fix educational inequality. They hope the tax will encourage schools to lower their tuition prices.
It is a very heated debate.
It sure is. We will see what happens next. Thanks for listening.
See you next time.
Welcome to the Daily News Break. I'm Alex.
And I'm Jamie. Today, we're talking about a big legal battle in Minnesota.
Right. Minnesota is suing the Department of Homeland Security, also known as DHS.
Exactly. They want to stop President Trump from sending 1,000 more immigration agents to their state.
Wow, 1,000 agents? That is a very large number. Why is this happening now?
Well, President Trump wants to increase enforcement in states with sanctuary policies. The federal government says these agents are needed to help with a backlog of cases and to follow federal laws.
I see. So they want to make sure immigration laws are followed in every state.
Right. But Minnesota's Attorney General, Keith Ellison, disagrees. He says the state is being targeted because of its political views.
You mean he thinks it's a political move?
Yes, exactly. He argues it violates the First Amendment. He also says having so many new agents will disrupt local communities.
That makes sense. It could really strain state resources and change how they manage public safety.
Definitely. It's a major clash between state and federal power.
You know, President Trump has often criticized these states. He vowed to use all federal resources to enforce immigration laws.
Right. And now, legal experts say this case might go all the way to the Supreme Court.
Wow, that would be a huge decision for the whole country.
It really would. For now, Minnesota is asking a judge to stop the agents from moving in immediately.
This is a story we will definitely watch closely.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us today.
Welcome back to the show. Today, we have some big news about your money and the U.S. economy.
That's right, Alex. The U.S. stock market just hit record highs for the second day in a row. Both the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones are at all-time peaks.
Wow, that sounds like great news. But Jamie, I heard some news about inflation too. Didn't prices go up?
You have a good ear, Alex. Yes, a new report shows inflation rose to 2.7%. It's a little higher than before, but investors are taking it in stride.
Taking it in stride? You mean they aren't worried?
Exactly. They are focusing on strong profits from big companies instead. For example, Jamie Dimon, the boss of JP Morgan Chase, said the U.S. economy is resilient.
I love that word, resilient. It means the economy is strong and can handle problems.
Right. And the White House is very happy. Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt said this boom is happening because of President Trump's agenda.
You mean his plan for massive tax cuts and deregulation?
Precisely. The administration believes cutting taxes and rules is helping the economy grow. They also say wages are rising for workers.
That's important. I also saw that technology and defense stocks are doing really well.
Yes, especially a company called L3 Harris. Their stock jumped because the government is investing $1 billion into a new missile business.
It seems like the market has a lot of confidence in the future under President Trump.
It really does. Experts think this growth could continue all the way through 2026.
Well, that's all for today's market update. Thanks for explaining it so clearly, Jamie.
You're welcome, Alex. See you all next time.